All right, now we've talked about how to add rational expressions and how to subtract rational expressions, but we can do both at the same time also. So now this is going to be a little bit long and involved of a problem. So if you need to, stop it and pause, or rewind, whatever, then you may have to do that here. Okay, before we can start working with these, we need to see exactly what it is that we've got. So let's factor everything down first. So this first one will factor into p plus 3 times p plus 3. This second fraction is already fully factored in the denominator. This third fraction, though, we need to factor this down into 2p minus 5 and p plus 3, which means now we can find our common denominator. So our common denominator, I'm going to put this all over here. We have to look at what we have in common. And what we have in common for all three of those terms is a p plus 3. So we have to use what they have in common. Then we have to use everything else that we've not accounted for so far, which would be another p plus 3, and also this 2p minus 5. Okay, now we can start working with getting our equivalent fractions. And remember, we're just going to put this all together over the common denominator. So here we have p minus 2, but what do we need to multiply this denominator by so that it is the common denominator? That would be a 2p minus 5. So we have to do the exact same thing to the top, which means now we would have p minus 2 times 2p minus 5 plus. Now for our second fraction, we have to look at our denominator here, p plus 3, and figure out what do we have to multiply by to turn it into the common denominator. In this case, it would be p plus 3 and also the 2p minus 5. So since we would have to multiply by both those things on the bottom, we're going to have to multiply by both of those in the numerator also. So we would have 1 times p plus 3 times 2p minus 5 minus. Now for our third rational, again, we have to figure out what do we have to multiply by to turn it into the common denominator. And in this case, we're missing a p plus 3, so we have to do the exact same thing to the top. So we would have 2p plus 1 times p plus 3. All right. Now that we have all of that, we're going to have to start distributing and working this all out. So if I distribute this very first set of binomials, we're going to get 2p squared minus 5p minus 4p plus 10. And when I multiply 1 times anything, it's itself. So we don't really have to worry about the 1. Let's just distribute out our binomial here. So we would have plus 2p squared minus 5p plus 6p minus 15. Now for our third one here, I'm going to go ahead and multiply it out, but I'm going to do it at the side, or maybe up here at the top. So that's going to be 2p squared plus 6p plus 1p plus 3. Now the reason that I did that was because we're going to be subtracting this, so we have to distribute that subtraction to every single one of those terms. So that's really now going to be minus 2p squared minus 6p minus p minus 3 all over our common denominator of p plus 3 times p plus 3 times 2p minus 5. And we are running out of time to finish simplifying this, so we'll do this in the next video.